Hi, my name is Tom. I study English, and one fact about me is that I am sensitive to the supernatural and the occult. I know, spooky. Anyways, why do I want to be a teacher? The biggest reason, and I think the easiest reason, is because throughout my life I've had great teachers. Whether they're friends, family members, professors, or just teachers throughout um, public schooling, they've all had a little part in just helping me discover who I am and um, really happiness. I'm hoping that I can continue their work and help future students, discover the world and learn about themselves, and one day reach this realization, why they want to do what they want to do, um, and that's really it. I don't know of any other more like honorable reasons why I want to be a teacher, honestly. All right, so my experience with language, it's I think it's quite a complicated one. But the simple version is yes, I speak two languages. I speak Hmong at home. Growing up, I spoke Hmong at home. At school, I spoke English, and that's just how it was. Now, of course, I speak more English because we just use it a whole lot more in the modern world. Um, but in terms of the Hmong language, it in and of itself is a very, very complex system. And what I mean by this is that, in the Hmong culture, you use the language based on what you are doing. So, for example, my grandpa, he is a shaman. And being a shaman, that means he helps, how am I going to say this? I think that the comparison I can make is Western medicine or modern medicine is for the human body, whereas in my grandpa's words, shamanism is for the human spirit. And I know it's very abstract like that, but that's the only way I can describe it. So anyways, in his learning and in his practice, I could speak to him just very casually in Hmong, and that wouldn't be a problem, right? But when it comes to him performing his ceremonies, the language that he uses, it's still Hmong, it is, but the tone changes, the rhythm changes. He no longer really speaks in a literal way. It's all figurative. It's metaphors, it's poetry, and unless you have a trained ear for that, you're not gonna know what he's talking about. Because when he does these things, he'll give out directions, he'll give out commands, and whoever's around him, whoever he trusts to be able to catch his commands, they're gonna have to perform what he's asking them to do while he's already performing what he's performing, right? So, that's just a very, very simple example as to why the Hmong language is so complex. I think it's been a blessing to know two languages. However, within the school system, it is very difficult to actually maintain this particular language because I think it's not involved within the school. I know there are classes that do offer, Hmong as a foreign language, but I think that is still really in its infancy. What about the stories? What about the beliefs? What about the philosophy, the literature? I don't know if there is really much of a space for that, or if there has been in, at least here in Wisconsin. As a teacher, I would love to be able to, spearhead that right through and inspire students all over the place to understand that language is a place of belonging, language is identity, language is fun, language will be difficult. And like there's so much more that language has to offer us, but in terms of my particular language and my background, it's being lost. And I do hope that we find a way to work through this, not around it, because I think working around it kind of suggests that we can simply just ignore some aspects of it. I want to approach this in a holistic way, and hopefully, if it's possible, I would like to answer the question of how do I ensure academic success without the compromise of my indigenous culture and language. If anyone could offer me some words of advice, thank you. I'd appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions about the Hmong culture in general, feel free to ask me. I'm always down to just have a discussion about that, because there's so many things that are going on right now. And if I could be a resource, please let me know. Thank you.